I'm just jumping in here. I feel prompted to talk to you about the eclipse happening next Monday, the 16th of May. It's mainly going to be visible through South America, Mexico, yeah, as a total full moon lunar eclipse. Blood moon, because the shadow of the earth will cast this beautiful reddish hue onto the moon. But the layer I want to talk about today around the eclipse and lunar eclipse and the Scorpio lunar eclipse, plus all of other magnetic configurations and the solar waves that are entering the planet since this portal opened, actually back on the 22nd of April. And we had our first partial lunar eclipse on the 30th of April, and we're about to hit into a total lunar eclipse, blood moon, in alignment with Scorpio. And the significance of this portal or this passageway is very strong, because full moons in itself are quite potent emotionally. We all feel a full moon in many ways, regardless whether we are aware of the full moon or not aware, conscious or not. We all have this lunatic moments, which is always amplifying what has been on the wraps, feeling that emotional pressure, right? That's a full moon in general. And most of us realize, if we're not aware of them, that a full moon just happened once we go through these lunatic, erratic, sudden movements of mood swings or emotional uncomfortableness, or even acting out erratically, right? So that's a full moon as a full moon, right? Of course, I'm gonna get to the layer of the programming of the full moon, and how when we are really hooked into that program, it is easier to be manipulated or controlled by the moon cycles. So it's very important. I'm going to talk about the program. I'm going to talk about what it's coming for us as humanity. And yet always understand that if you have disconnected from the moon program, hence meaning that you are aware and able to feel this, understand and see and feel the program of the moon, yet choose what aspects of the program are going to aid you for your ascension, for your awareness, for your self-work, for your self-growth, then you're using the matrix or the program consciously. It's like running a program in your computer, knowing that you're not in the program. You are using the program for your productivity. If you believe you are a part of the program and there's all these external forces control you, then you're a puppet, and then you're actually in an illusion, because you're not. So when I talk about what's happening, understand it from the point of view as you're immersed in the moon program. You can feel everything that is transpiring, and it's what is bringing out to the surface within yourself in the program, that you need to observe, take what works for you, but also we're always from the higher perspective, which is outside of the moon program, outside of the planetary matrix, because there's also a matrix of energetics at play constantly. So whenever I expose, talk about, bring forth into our awareness anything concerning planetary alignments, astrological relationships, magnetics, they are part of a programming, especially the full moon and the moon in itself, right? So with this, now I can talk about it freely, but understanding that you always have the power to unhook yourself from the moon program, so that you're not in the hands of this crazy energy and that will justify a lot of your erratic behavior. It's more from the sense of, I understand this is happening, this is what the program is transmitting, I'm going to observe it, I'm going to use what I need from it for my own learning. Okay? So this full moon, it's the opening of a portal passageway to the next full moon eclipse, which will be the 8th of November. So we have May 16th to 8th of November. That's kind of, I like to see always the big picture, because we can't just divide reality in snippets. We can leave it like that at times, but everything is interconnected. So we have to look at the whole picture. And if we actually go bigger, we will understand that this passageway that is happening right now, it's very connecting to 13 years ago. So it's like threads of timeline that are interconnected. So you have to be able to understand that all of these are processes, like layers of an onion or a Russian doll. Layers that we are releasing, so that from the program, we're peeling off the program, so we get closer to the truth. Closer to the truth. The program is telling us this full moon, it's a blood moon, it's in alignment with Scorpio. Scorpio energies are always known for being transformative, disruptive, shedding, death and rebirth cycles, and the phoenix rising from the ashes. So that's the program. That's what the program is telling us. How are we riding these energies? That program, how are we taking that in ourselves? Are we going to go, oh my God, I'm going into this end cycle, something's gotta die, I have to look for what needs to die and rebirth. So you can force yourself into it. It might not be in alignment of where you are, but you kind of force yourself, because when we get all this constant advertising of this is what's happening in this time with this layer, we all go, oh yeah, correct, this is why I've been feeling this way, and then we get into the matrix, right? So it's more about, okay, this is the program is transmitting an opportunity of endings and rebirth. Is there anything actually in my life that needs to end and rebirth? Might not be. But maybe I'm actually going to use that tool a little bit, and I'm going to go, okay, what aspects within me am I ready to let go of? Because then, of course, there's other things happening. There's also Mars and Neptune. Mars as the energy, the program of the warrior, the fire energy, the achiever, right? The me, my dream, my truth. Neptune being that collective dream, the collective journey, the collective vision. So how do I fit in that? How do I align to that? What is my truth in regards of the collective dream? So that's an added pin to the already full moon lunar eclipse in Scorpio, right? Then we have, which acts as a portal, it's true, but we gotta navigate it to get out of it, through and out of it. It's through within the program that you exit the program. Okay? Then we have the Venus and Chiron alignment. Venus being obviously the feminine aspect, talking about the heart, all of these teachings of the women power and the Ishtar and the Isis and the priestess in us, whether you're a man or a woman or a they. So Venus in alignment with Chiron, and Chiron is it's associated, the program, the energy that Chiron brings is the wounded healer. It's about healing the wound, healing core wounds, which we've been doing since lately, since December 21st. We've been really getting deeper into the core wounds. But this associated with Venus is what's in your heart. What is your core wound about your heart and your relationship with yourself, your own mirror? Not about pointing the finger. It's about turning the finger back at yourself and going, how is my relationship with myself? So then you have to put that in perspective. So the program is giving you these opportunities. These are the transmission that is coming to the collective. Birth and rebirth, endings, healing the core wound, and aligning your energy with a collective vision. Now, you can take all those like ingredients in a soup, and you can create your own and drink it. You might not. You might observe the ingredients and go, this is an opportunity so that I consciously work with it. Consciously. Free will. Because we are no longer, we have already, the old matrix, it's already crumbled. Remember that we have already accessed and are accessing constantly quantum computer, new realities. So you can always choose when you go back and reinsert yourself to an old timeline to bring in awareness or to bring in learning. So this is the opportunity to also bring awareness around your ancestry, all those ancestral wounds that you haven't, perhaps you're not aware of them, but they are playing out somehow, subconsciously in your life. And an opportunity to heal your story. We really have to stop being in a loop. And that's really hard, because even in the spiritual community or the aware or the awake or all these labels that we humans like to put around ourselves, wherever in our life journey or human experience we are, we tend to want to put ourselves into this place of disempowerment. And it's very important that we understand that yes, we're always growing, and yes, there are aspects of our story that we tell ourselves we are evolving and healing it. But the more we tell our story over and over and over again about something that happened, or our wounds or our relationships, we are reinforcing it. So it's really important now to stop reinforcing that story so that we're not in that loop. And of course, when we do this at a personal, individual level, we're aiding at a collective level. But collectively, we have to be very aware and very careful. The amount of time we are telling the same story over and over and over again. Like the story of separation and the story of control. So yes, this is an opportunity to receive all this programming, to understand it and observe it, but with free will and with full awareness. So how to prepare for it is through journaling, through asking yourself that question: what aspects, or what is the program of this moon program telling me? Even just by asking the question, it will be very interesting you will be very surprised at how much of it is outside of you. And like this exercise, if you had no idea that a full moon was happening and all of this, it will be harder for you to react or understand, right? You might later on going, oh, this is what happened, and it was because of this. So that's you being immersed in the program and just acting out subconsciously. But also, what if you're in awareness? Then you can choose to disconnect yourself from it and going, actually, I've got my own timeline, and I'm going to utilize the opportunity of this lunar eclipse to consciously bring in the awareness, bring in all those shadow aspects of myself that have to do with my core wound, my healing, my relationship with myself, reviewing the stories I tell myself about myself and others, and how am I contributing to the collective vision and the dream. So if you do that, that would be very powerful, because then you actually enter it with an intention, with an intention. Outside of the matrix, as a bigger level, a higher vision, a higher layer, eclipses are like portals in time, doorways that takes us from one place to another. It's like jump. It's like timeline jump. So you can also connect to that energy, not necessarily to the moon program, but the energy of that activation that all of this is bringing. It's yourself projecting yourself outside of the matrix and being able to see where you're going next, or what's happening next. And we have that ability to do that as well. So if we place our view from the solar, from a heliocentric, not the geocentric, not from the Earth perspective, but from the Sun perspective, we have another alignments happening. Alignment with Pleiades and Aldebaran. So alignments with other dynamics and energetic, cosmic energies, from planets that we might know or not know, are aware, have life and are part of our cosmic family. So it's like a direct line to these places for you, to align with those energies. Again, everything is it's an opportunity. It's ingredients that you pull into your experience. So ultimately, it's the meaning you place in everything that is really important, because you are a content creator. We are all content creators. We're constantly creating content, constantly, through our communication, through our emails, socially, more than ever. People that get really into making videos, making music, posting on their social channels, writing. We are content creators. We are in this human experience creating content. Why do we create content, and what kind of content do we create? Which content are we aligning with, receiving, letting it come in through our vessel, our human experience? So all of that is at play. So here is the content of next lunar eclipse, blood moon, phoenix rising, Scorpio shedding the skin, endings, beginnings, expect the unexpected, healing the wound of relationships, looking at the mirror of yourself. And it's a loop, because this theme will come back again in November as a lunar eclipse. And we have total eclipse in between, in July, August. We have all of these opportunities. They're always going to be kind of the same ingredients. So do you always do the same soup or the same dish with the ingredients that the earth is giving you? Like, you know, there's always going to be carrots and kale and spinach and fish, and you know, are you always going to do the same dish? Or are every time you're going to take an opportunity to create something new? Because the ingredients are always going to be showing off, always going to be showing up. Correct? So this is again another opportunity, but you have the power and the ability to bring in your intention as a content creator, as a full, empowered, sovereign, free being. This is how we do it. Otherwise, we are again in the loop. And our Facebook stories tell us every time, 2 years ago, 1 year ago, 5 years ago, Schumann resonance, all of these symptoms, this full moon, this solar eclipse, this is happening. Ooh, we feel it, of course. It's impossible to be completely disconnected from the matrix because we are inserted in it until the reboot happens, right? Meanwhile, what we do is we awaken within the dream. That's what we do. So then we go, okay, fine. This is an opportunity to grab those ingredients and create my own new content. And it can be in alignment with that higher vision for all. And I think we all deep inside, we all have a part of, it's very intricate in our soul contract, because soul contracts are also part of the energy that we're receiving, coming towards the eclipse too. Soul contract is what I set myself, what was my goal, what goal I set before incarnating into having this human experience. That's my soul contract. I was asked, what is your intention when you're going to be in this human experience? And your soul set an intention, and it set goals, and it set markers in time. And then you forgot it completely, but it's there, so that you enter the experience with with curiosity. And that's why sometimes we really have those pulls of, this really feels like it's something I need to do, and this really needs to happen, because your soul remembers that marker, that soul contract. So yes, we all have as a collective a soul contract to evolve, to assist humanity, to assist ourselves into an ever-going, open source, ever-flowing cosmic cycle, because we can't be doing the same thing all the time. We're not meant to be rats in a wheel. And rats are not meant to be rats in a wheel. We put them there. So this is why I wanted to come forth today. And it's very interesting because I had a completely different thing prepared. I was just going to talk about what the full moon is and, the energies at play, as I always do. And yet, here I am, my higher self in alignment, telling me and you and all of us that we are content creators and we get to choose what to do with the energies that are coming at play with the eclipse. So it is your choice. You can ride the collective waves of the program. You can align yourself with the moon program and let it take you through all the rebirth and the endings and the shedding of the skin and the energy and the wounds and whatever, because you might want to do that. You need that. But let it be a conscious choice. Or you might just step back and observe and watch it. Or you might grab the ingredients and create a completely new dish. It's really up to you and up to me and up to us. So that's what's transpiring. So we have a good 8 days for it. So as a good content creator, although some of us work very spontaneously, we have the idea of what we need to do. Once we're there, boom, it's like art. Some of us plan our art or our creation. I'm gonna do this first, and second, we walk it. Some of us are really perfectionist and we have a sketch and we draw and we write and we make goals and to-do lists. That's fine. However you want to navigate these 8 days to prepare you for what's coming. Because it's going to happen anyway. The program is running. In the background is running. And the eclipse will unleash a lot of all these themes that I just talked about to those who are not aware and are unconscious, and they're puppets. They're being puppeteered, right? So prepare for that. Because yes, we're still in a collective human experience that strengthens a lot of the collective timelines, and we write them. Even if sometimes just hanging by a thread, and most of the time we're just doing our own timeline for all of us that are already conscious content creators in this human experience. And then we have the solar energies coming in as a completely separate thing. So we have the moon program still moving the magnetic and attached and sending all the information to people that are really in alignment with the moon program. But yet then we have the solar program And the solar logos, the Solaris, the Ra, is coming in with its fierce light. And the sun, the only thing that does is radiating plasma, photonic information, energy, codes, upgrades. Boom, 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 boom. And we're receiving rays that we translate as gamma rays. And then, you know, we also get purified each time, or energized, or exhausted, or whatever however we feel and transverse these energies. The most important aspect of any solar storm, I always said this, is to not resist it. The path of the least resistance. Ground, drink water, yes. Rest, allow. Everything else is in your head. Again, you're the content creator. What are you going to do with these energies that are coming, bombarding the planet for the planet? The planet is doing its thing. We're inside this beautiful planet. We're just cells within a cosmic body that has many, many layers, because the earth itself it's multidimensional too, just like we are. So what are you going to create with these new solar energies that are coming in? So those are the dynamics at play. So be your master content creator and decide what you want to do. Allow, actively get involved, consciously get involved, or just be and let the program take you. It doesn't mean you're asleep, because the moment that you know you're writing the program, you're actually awake. You know, it's like observing the dream. So that's fine too. That's your choice. All right? That was my message for today. And don't forget to breathe. Breathe. The breath is energy. The breath is life, and it's free. And it's there, and it's always available, and it's not always from the nose. It's from your entire magnetic field. So spheric breathing. And nurture yourself. Do the things that you love doing. I love sound. I love sounding. I love frequency. I love my mantras and art. And so I connect to that as much as I can, because that's where how my soul gets more in harmony and in alignment with my body and with my human experience. Find time for yourself. Less in the mind, less in trying to understand what's going on, more in the being. Thank you for listening. Namaste.